A subway that turns into an elevator. Buses that drive over cars. Places are different, so are the ways they get around. Moving around quickly and efficiently is a huge driver for the growth and success of places. It's about what's the most efficient way to cross that type of land. Under, over, on top of, around, anything goes really. Genoa, Italy was built on mountains hugging the sea, so they have what's essentially a subway that turns into an elevator. It travels 750 feet underground, then converts to a vertical elevator which goes up 20 stories to go from sea level to the hills above. Other places with similar terrain use funiculars to get up hills. Valparaiso in Chile has more than a dozen. Also, the Stousbahn in Switzerland, because how crazy is that? Medellin, Colombia has steep hills and also is very tightly packed, so they use gondola lifts that travel high above the city and into the hills. Cities in China have a traffic problem. I mean, who doesn't? So they developed buses that drive over cars. But as of now, no one's figured out how to make those work efficiently or safely, so the straddling bus is just cool to look at, for now. Airports need a crazy amount of space to land planes, and planes just keep getting bigger, which means they just keep needing more space. But lots of places don't have a long flat piece of land to plop an airport, so they get creative. And that makes for some really crazy airports in some very cool places. The territory of Gibraltar, which should probably get its own video, is cramped between water and a giant rock. So they put the runway on the road and gave it a stoplight. Makes you think twice about trying to beat the red, huh? Courcheval sits in the middle of the French Alps, tucked among giant cliffs and the ski runs of one of the world's most popular ski areas. There's nowhere to make a flat runway, so they built it on a 19% upward slope that ends at a cliff. That's the steepest in the world. Most modern planes can't get in there, but if you make it, you can hit the slopes in no time. Madeira, Portugal fixed a similar problem a different way. It's a small volcanic island off the coast of Africa that's known for its wine resorts and Ronaldo. They put their runway on stilts over the edge of the water. For such an impressive feat of engineering, they weren't that great at sculpting. There's others like St. Martin where planes take off at the beach. Any pilots out there? What am I missing? This one's based on requests. It's also pretty awesome. We've come up with a lot of different ways to cross over water, but only one way goes under. And so we're all on the same page. Almost all underwater tunnels are in the ground below water, not floating in the water. Here's a look at some of the world's craziest underwater tunnels. First up is the Eysturoy Tunnel, or really that if you want to try to pronounce it. It was completed in 2020 in the Faroe Islands, an island state between the UK and Iceland that's technically part of Denmark. The tunnel is almost 7 miles long and it connects not 2 but 3 different places. How? They put an underwater intersection in the middle, technically a roundabout. The clever design cut travel times in half for most of the population. If you've been to Hong Kong or Macau, you might have taken the Kong-Zhuhai-Macau Bridge, HKZM for short. 34 miles long, it's the longest sea crossing in the world. It combines 20 miles of viaducts over the open water with 3 separate 1,000-foot plus bridges, a 4-mile undersea tunnel, and 4 artificial islands that connect them. Drivers go from high above water to down into the water and then back out above it in about 40 minutes. Not only that, but they also switch from left-hand to right-hand driving while on the bridge and then switch back at both ends. Last but not least, the Bund Sightseeing Tunnel connects 2 parts of Shanghai in style. It technically uses the same tunnel as the metro, but for about $10 you are treated to a light and sound show to make your crossing a lot more fun. Hope that wasn't boring. When I visited family in Michigan, they turned right to make a left. It was weird. They called it a Michigan left. Those of you from those parts are familiar with the Michigan left. It's a type of intersection that forces cars to turn right, then make a U-turn in order to eventually go left. They do that because it prevents left turns, which makes the intersection quicker and safer. That got me thinking, are there Michigan lefts in other places? There's a Texas turnaround, which looks like this, and there's Jersey freeways too, which look like this. Different places have different driving habits, so what works in one place may not in another. British drivers are used to roundabouts, so much so that they've got a bunch of magic roundabouts also. Magic roundabouts are big traffic circles with mini traffic circles inside them. And even better, the little ones flow in the opposite direction of the big one. Someone please explain to me how that prevents accidents. Traffic in Manila, Philippines is so horrendous that they limit when you can drive based on your license plate number. Actually, a lot of places have systems like that, including Sao Paulo, Athens, and Mexico City. Jakarta allows only even license plates on even calendar days and vice versa. The purpose is usually to cut traffic, but also to curb pollution and to moderate fuel demand in some places. Problem is, it's not totally clear how well it works. Some cities saw wealthy people just buy more cars with different plates. Others have had traffic just move to the side streets. Anyone live in these places want to weigh in? I'm so sorry, New Jersey. I did a video on crazy intersections, and even though I did mention the Garden State, lots of you, who I can only assume are fans of Jersey, alerted me that I missed the state's proudest type of junction, the Jersey Jughandle. Jersey Jughandles are a unique breed of left turns. You exit right, and the Jughandle puts you perpendicular on the crossing road. Fun part is you have to turn before or after the intersection. Could be either, and it could be a ways away from the actual intersection. Google Maps better be on point. Apparently there's a few different types of these jugs used in the state. I'm sure Garden Staters will let me know which one is the true Jersey Jughandle. Australians also pointed out another one, and it's a real doozy. Say hi to the Melbourne hook turn. Here, cars turn right from the leftmost lane. Popular in downtown Melbourne, the hook turn is supposed to help public trans move through intersections. Sorry, Jersey, think you're beat. As far as weird traffic rules go, we handled Jersey, Michigan, Texas, and went as far as Jakarta. Jersey seemed to win, even though it definitely wasn't a contest. Briefly mentioned at the end was a hot new road layout that's sweeping the world right now, the diverging diamond. It's like the new iPhone for traffic engineers. It's cool, confusing, but also kind of sexy. Also called a double crossover diamond, this thing makes a lot of sense, as long as you can get used to driving on the wrong side of the road. You cross over to driving on the wrong side of the road for just a bit, so it's easier to get on and off the highway. The French have had a few since the 70s, which makes sense since they're also kind of sexy and confusing in general, but it didn't become popular until it became hot in the US. Missouri was first in 2009, shout out to Springfield, and now there are about 150. New ones usually make the local news with presentations and everything.
Start here driving on the right side of the road, but when you reach the bridge, the lanes take you to the opposite side of the road.
Kentucky even celebrated its 10-year anniversary. Yes, we're still talking about an intersection. People seem to like it, but it's still new. Personally, I think we need more sexy and confusing roads. Keeps life interesting.